DC's 52. We are now with weeks 3 and 4. Lots of more questions. Still not many answers. Probably no answers. And some crazy ending pages. You got to stick around for this. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Longbox Comics, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. Now, last time we found out that there was just a huge catastrophe on Earth, and many of the heroes are either missing, presumed dead, and some we actually know are dead, like Superboy. And so in the last issues, we were following specifically 4 people: Ralph Dibny, who was the elongated man, also the detective. Then we have Renee Montoya, who is also a detective, Steel, and Booster Gold. Now, we know there's a huge mystery going on here. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, they're all still missing. Somebody's still kidnapping scientists. We don't know why. And there appears to be somebody that's actually messing around with time. So, some crazy stuff going on here. Now, weeks 3 and 4 are written by Johns, Morrison, Rucka, and Waid. And week 3 and 4 were drawn by Joe Bennett. So, in week 3, day 1, Lex Luthor is found dead. Or is it Lex Luthor? It looks like him. But we don't know. Is it Lex Luthor? Is it not Lex Luthor? We'll find out. So we swap over. We actually see Power Girl chasing a guy named Terraman, who she calls a redneck flying. It does look like a redneck flying on a motorized flying horse. Now, he had just robbed an airliner, and she is about to get him, and then she's grabbed by Black Adam, and he grabs her by the arm, and he just holds her there, and she just like hangs there like a rag doll. And I thought she'd be a little bit harder to stop, but I mean, Black Adam is really pretty powerful. So yeah, I guess this kind of plays out a little bit. But she is over Kondak airspace, so maybe she's kind of playing it cool. I don't know. Seemed really odd to me. And is it me, or just me, or does Black Adam look like Namor? Alright, so Black Adam asked Power Girl, hey, how many people have died? How many people died? So they're talking about this catastrophe thing that happened. She's like, millions died. And he replies, 5,079,432 people died. And she's like, you helped us stop the villains. It's not our fault. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to help change things. We're going to change things. I'm going to change things around here. I protected Kondak. I'm done protecting Kondak. It's time to do something more. And he goes, you need to leave. You have 10 seconds to get out of here. Because otherwise I'm going to consider trespassing. And trespass is not something I forgive. That's a little unlord's prayer of you, Black Adam. It is. All right, so week 3, day 2. We see Steel here. He's still fighting with his niece. She still thinks she should be a superhero, still acting like a child. And he's still telling her, hey, you need to grow up and earn the right to be a hero. Okay. But hey, she storms off. Then he gets a call. They need him to come in and help identify Lex Luthor's body. Kind of shocking call to get. I mean, the guy was the president of the United States. Week 3, day 3. 2 guys named Roughhouse and Noose, apparently working for something called Intergang, comes to Black Adam and Kondak, and he goes, hey, we want to use you as a bridge between the U.S., Africa, and the Middle East. And they want to cut him in on Intergang cells of Thanagarian weapons. Now, they also apparently brought him the most beautiful virgin in all of Egypt. Black Adam just stands there and looks at him. This panel, these panels right here are fantastic. He just like looks at him, bam, puts his hand on the guy's face, pops his head like a balloon. Brutal. Now, they only show a little bit of the blood splash, but still brutal. You don't want to get on Black Adam's bad side. All right, week 3, day 4. Booster is battling another criminal in Metropolis. Again, he's figured all this out from future news clippings, not because he's actually trying to stop crime. He's just trying to be there when crime happens to stop it. Therefore, he can gain sponsorships. He has taglines. Not while I'm in town or whatever. You know, they probably focus group this stuff, and he's got a tagline, a focus group, whatever. He and Skeets beat this dude down, and then he looks at the ticker He's like, hey, did you bet on that game? Yeah, I did. How much did you put down? All of it. And he's like, big smile on his face. Yeah, he made a ton of money because that actually went their way. We then see he actually gets a sponsorship with a company called Action Holt. He signs on the dotted line. He thinks, I've made it. I've got the big sponsorship. I'm going to make some money here. But later that evening at the party, the CEO gets arrested for securities fraud, which means the whole company's gone. The sponsorship's null and void. And he starts yelling at Skeet. Skeet's like, it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm malfunctioning again. And so Booster heads out to find Rip Hunter. Now again, here is another time dude. So here's another alluding to a time problem. Maybe. We don't know. Week 3, day 5. Steele is examining Luther's body. And as he does, he notices that the eyes are green, like Lex's, but they're contacts. So when he pulls the contacts out, he actually, these contacts are actually new. And the cornea has no scrapings. So he doesn't believe this has been something that this guy has been wearing for very long. And at that very moment, Lex Luthor walks into the examining room and basically convinces everybody, hey, now he's whispering to John under, and John's like, here, shut up. I don't want to hear anything about it. And he's talking to John under his breath. But basically he says, I've been trapped in another dimension, an evil dimension that this guy has come from. And the dimension is just being destroyed, and I was there, and I barely got out. And this dude is taking my place, and all the evil acts that I've been doing, it wasn't me, it was him. He's the evil dude, and all of this Steele's like, this is all bunk, and he knows it's bunk, but he knows this is not Lex, and he knows that the contacts that, so Lex is able to use him as confirmation that what Lex is saying is true, because he can't really deny all the things that Lex is saying, even though he knows it's bunk. But week 3, day 6, Black Adam shows up in New York. And he's basically talking to the crowd. He's floating there. Terror Man's there with him. And he's like, hey, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are missing. Now, you can look out there and you can see Lois Lane there in the crowd. I think that's Lois Lane. And he's like, I want you to spread this message that people like him, Terror Man, he points to Terror Man, do not deserve to live. And he actually grabs Terror Man and rips him in half. Right above the crowd. Blood, guts everywhere. And he goes, it's time for heroes to do more than just patrol. It's time for us to change the world. I'm not sure that technically I would want to live in the world where Black Adam's running things. I don't know about you guys, not me. Now, when we get this parting panel of a cocoon, like in a medical tube, kind of those tubes that they put humans in to heal them, those stuff in science fiction movies and comic books. And so there's some kind of cocoon thing in there, and it looks like it's in a discarded lab. I don't know what that is yet, and the next issue didn't cover it either, so I'm not sure. All right, week 4, day 1. Montoya is staking out the building, and that the question that asked her to stake out, paid her to stake out, nothing's happening. And she feels this is like a complete waste of time. And we flip up to space. And astronauts are there trying to find any hint of where the heroes that were fighting in space went to during this crisis that happened a couple weeks ago. Now, there's a lady on the spaceship. Her name is Halo. Now, Halo keeps talking about lightning something. And I'm like, why did she keep saying that? I was like, well, Halo apparently comes from another dimensional world that is actually a world locked within a light particle. Weird. Cool. Weird. But she can detect, manipulate subtle radiation. And asks her, what's going on? She goes, I'm detecting a zeta frequency. And they realize that's what Adam Strange uses to actually travel between Rand and Earth. So they're like, maybe that's it. So they call the president, and we flip over to Metropolis. Now, in Metropolis, Fire, from the Justice League Europe and International, she's there. She's trying to recruit Booster Gold to help John. John is building a team together to go help rescue the people that are, were trapped in space. So Booster said, I'm too busy. I got a busy schedule. Like, with what? Well, he's like, you have a meeting with this sponsor, meeting with this sponsor, meeting with this. And she's like, oh, come on. And she puts a guilt trip on him. All these heroes died. All these heroes are missing. And you're here about money? And he's like, I've done this before. I've tried to save the world before, and I got spit in the face in the future. So now I'm here to get what's mine. Very, very selfish. Now, she walks out, and I love how they do this. She actually burns a hole through his door instead of slamming it. And I think that's probably a little bit more impactful than a slamming door. And he knows he screwed up, too. So week 4, day 3. Montoya is still on the stakeout, and the question shows up and encourages her, hey, it hasn't happened yet, but something will happen. And she's like, well, you only got like 4 more days. But then he just kind of keep watching and disappears into a question mark shaped cloud of smoke. Very cool. Now, we go back to Steele. Now, we see Steele is having a conversation with himself. And as he's doing that, and he's talking about his daughter and his niece, talking about becoming a superhero, earning the right, whether she should be able to, because he jumped in after Superman was missing before to become Steele, and it kind of got him in trouble, and he made mistakes, etc., and he wants her to be ready. But at the whole time, he's getting sicker, and he's trying to go to he's thrown up into the toilet, and he's getting sicker. I've been poisoned, so he's trying to crawl to get help, and he grabs something on his desk, and it kind of melts and looks like it absorbs into his hand. And he's like, what is happening? You see steam rising off his body, and then the whole lab just kind of explodes. Week 4. Day 4, we see Ralph Dibny is at the shrine still, or back at the shrine. I don't know if he's still at the shrine, but he's back at the shrine talking to Cassie and the others there. And it's like, hey, it's like, we believe Superboy's coming back. Well, how do you know that? Well, the waters here enables us to see the afterlife. That's what the Kryptonians believed. You can see the afterlife. He's like, okay, well, let's try it. So he gets in, they hold him under, and then he starts screaming. Everything goes black. He wakes up, comes out of the water, and he didn't see anything. He says he didn't see anything. And he's all alone there. Like, everybody just disappeared in between panels. And he's kind of freaked out, right? And then he kind of stares at his hand. I'm not sure what that was about either. So week 4, day 5, something enters the building. Now, something comes in, big, blocky, comes in, and she was sleeping. But she saw the door close just enough that she realized, crap, this whole time I've been waiting for this, and I just missed it. So she rushes into the building, and the question comes up behind her, and she's like, you didn't get me this time. I heard you. So they're looking, and they see the kind of dead ends in the back. She goes, well, let's flip the lights on, see if we can see anything. So she flips the light switch, and a trap door releases, and they both fall into the basement, and then they see this creature. Yeah. Now, at first I thought it was maybe Killer Croc. But as I look at this thing, it looks really alien. And it looks pretty beefy, man. It looks, this armor. You got things coming out of his head. You got talons. It's really kind of beefy looking. And Montoya starts shooting with bullets, and the bullets doesn't seem to be effective. And he just hits Montoya, right? And she flies across the room, mashes her arm. Her ribs are broken. She slams into the boxes, and the question jumps in. It's like trying to take this dude hand to hand. Now this thing's beefy, man, and they're not going to take him hand to hand. So it gets the question pinned down, and Montoya finds this Men in Black gun in the basement, and she shoots and kills the creator or the creature. So I have a feeling those guns seem to be maybe Thanagarian weapons that they hinted at back with Black Adam. I don't know what they were doing there. And then, so is that alien thing part of Intergang? And how does Intergang... a lot of questions here, right? So week 4, day 7, they are finally gotten Halo was able to redirect the Zeta wave to an Australian point in Australia, and everybody's there to rescue him. And then, bam! The Zeta wave hits the ground. I love the colors on this. Look how that looks beautiful. We get this. Look at Hawk Girl. She looks 25 feet tall. We get Green Lantern. You see blood coming out of his eye. He's missing an eye. We see Bumblebee there. She's passed out. We see that dude there. I believe he's a Titan. And he's clutching his chest. And then those two things in the middle. That's Cyborg and Firestorm, and they're fused together. Now, Animal Man and Firestar were with them, and they're still missing. So something is still going on with that. Now, what happened here? They went missing, and then they were entrapped in this Zeta wave, and then this... Man, this has been a great story, great series. Lots of questions, and a lot more questions than we're getting answers so far. Weeks 1 through 4, down. And I can't wait till the next issues. Now, the writing has been great. There's some laughing moments for me, some moments like, a lot of questions, a lot of subtle hints at things. I don't know exactly what's going on. Some panels are hinting at stuff. I don't know what it is. I do know I'm definitely enjoying the series, and I can't wait for the next set. Now, if you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out a lot, and we'll see you next time here in the Long Box.